All right, peace, family. Now we got this raccoon up here talking crazy about FBA when he don't even know what he talking about. Let's get into this, man, because people like this do not speak for Black Americans. Okay, you raccoons and you tether-minded individuals don't speak for us. Let's get it, yo. This is ridiculous.
How do you identify? Do you identify as like a foundational Black American that's pro-America, right-wing, sort of like civic nationalist? Like, what do you call yourself? What do you believe?
We got to get into the civic nationalism conversation. Wow, that's a blasphemy pass right there. The FBA stuff, of course, I would align with that, but as you know, that group of people are extremely low IQ. I mean,
number one, FBA is not a group of people. Number two, you're saying Black Americans are extremely low IQ. So you're dissing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because all FBA means is foundational Black Americans. And you claim yourself that your family has been here since the 1700s, but yet you're going to say some idiotic crap like FBA'S are extremely low IQ group, when first of all, it's not even a group. FBA is not a group. Like, you see what I'm saying? This dude don't even know what he's talking about. People like this don't speak for Black Americans in general. This dude is a raccoon.
Their understanding of, foundational Black American is like, we built everything and shit, and we made the country. Or you'll get the retards that are like, we was really Native Americans and shit, we was really TPs and shit.
You see, it's so easy to debunk and smoke these clowns who are nothing but raccoons who are here to be on their knees for the white supremacists. That's all this dude is. He's just a token Black guy who's there to be on his knees for the white supremacists. Number one, when we say we're foundational to the country, that's because that's facts. After the 13 colonies, when the United States of America was formed, we were here. Were we not already here helping to build the infrastructure? Most of it throughout the country, we were here building, especially in the South. We were already here building up the infrastructure. From day one, when the United States of America began, we were here. We are a part of the foundation of this country, woven into the very fabric of this country. Those are facts that cannot be tested. Those are facts that cannot be disputed. So get the hell out of here. You're debunked right there. That's what foundational Black American means. We didn't say we built every single thing here, but we built most of the infrastructure here. We were responsible for most of the hard labor that was being done, and we did it for free, and the debt is owed.
It's like, dude, come on, you're Jews and Africans sold us into slavery. We came over here, peas and shit. It's like, dude, come on, we was really Native Americans and shit. We was really TPs and shit.
Yeah, that point, the Native American thing. First off, during slavery, you had Black American slaves that were intermixed with Native Americans. What are you talking about? You had Black American slaves that were intermixed. Now, I don't go for the whole argument that we were already here as the original Indians. I haven't done enough research to say yay or nay on that. That's not my argument. But one thing you cannot say is that we weren't intermixed with Native Americans. There are Black Americans who were intermixed with Native Americans during the slave trade. Those are actual facts. And if they're not, go ahead and dispute them in the comments. Those are actual facts. I'm not sitting here speculating or making anything up. There were Black Americans who were intermixed with Native Americans. So there are people out there who are going to be able to trace their ancestry back to Native Americans also. So you're just sitting here. You're sitting here on your knees for the white supremacists. You're just sitting here caping for the white supremacists, and you look like a real sucker and a coward, honestly. Like, get up off your knees, dude. You're like, wipe your mouth.
Like, dude, come on. You're Jews and Africans sold us into slavery. We came over here, unfortunately, use farm equipment. But guess what? We're here now. Do something with it, or go back to Africa and suffer. I mean, it's either do something now and try to better yourself.
You hear this dude, man? Africans sold us into slavery. Look, so now you're gonna sit here and try to absolve the white supremacists of their role during the transatlantic slave trade. Now you're gonna try to absolve the harsh conditions and the harsh treatment that they, bestowed upon our people. You know what I'm saying? Bestowed upon our ancestors. Now you're gonna sit here and try to absolve them of their responsibility during the slave trade. Now you're gonna sit here and talk this BS that these far right and these Nazis talk with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to sit here and talk about the small hats. You want to sit here and deflect to small hats and talk about Africans selling other slaves into the slave trade, but you don't want to acknowledge the atrocities of the white man. All the atrocities they did in the Caribbean, all the atrocities they did over here in the Americas, but you want to sit here and try to absolve them of what they've done. All the atrocities they're doing till this day. I cannot stand raccoons like this who just love to be on their knees for the white supremacists. I can't. This is pathetic. This is really pathetic. You should be ashamed of yourself.
To go forward in the future, or suffer with the consequences of doing absolutely nothing. And I heard you guys talking about this earlier about white men that want to leave the country and go to Asia, to go to South and Central America. That's the problem I'm having with a lot of black people who are conscious of the nigger problem that we have, and also the Jewish problem that we have. And they want to leave and go to.
You see, you hear this mess? He's basically talking like a freaking Nazi, bro. I don't respect nobody like this right here, man. I don't respect nobody like this. You sitting here talking about the N-word problem and the small hat problem because you're trying to please these far right Nazi thinking individuals. You're trying to please these people and say things that you think they like. You are a piece of filth. This is the type of person who squirm and try to go with whatever flow he can just to try to get his foot in the door good with massa. You are a true house Negro, true house N-word. This person right here, this is the definition of a house N-word right here.
The suburbs. I want to get away from the niggas. No, stay your ass in the black areas and do something for the betterment of your people and this country you live in. Well, we're just not going to have it.
That's what FBA advocates for. Shut the hell up.
If niggas can't get their act together, then whites are always going to be in the majority.
Wait.
If niggas can't get their act together, then whites are always niggas are next. And this country you live in. Well, we're just not going to have it. We're kicking out Jews and niggas are next. If niggas can't.
You hear this? This is, bro. This is pathetic, bro. He's really up here talking like a Nazi. This dude said if we're kicking out the small hats, then the N-words are next. Are you out of your mind? What N-words you talking about? You ain't talking about no FBA'S. You ain't talking about no black Americans. We're not up to be deported at all. We are natural citizens to the United States of America. We were here since day one. A lot of these white people that actually have come here, they have not been here since day one. A lot of them came over during all that Ellis Island mess. A lot of these people just got here. They just got here last century. They ain't, you know what I'm saying? They ain't like us. They ain't foundational to this country like us. They'll get deported before we could get deported. We're not up for no deportation. So you're wrong again on that. You're debunked on that again. You're just trying to please the white supremacists, and you're pathetic. You really are. Like, this dude really, I don't know, like, this dude just loves to be on his knees for white supremacists. You can't trust nobody like this. You can't listen to no one like this. He's compromised. He wants to be one of them.
Get their act together, then whites are always going to be in the majority in this country. That's just kind of reality. It is what it is.
How you figure that?
And I think that I could see a 20 to 30% black majority, but we have to deport a lot of Hispanics for that to happen. But I think that's a perfect balance. But it's got to be separate but equal. It can't be this, multicultural, multi-ethnic. Everyone can have, their own identity and shit. We can't have that anymore. It's not working. It's not functioning at all.
What makes you confident that white people will always be a majority?
Exactly.
Because
Exactly, because they know he's sitting here listening to him just sit here and squirm and just on his knees sucking up to them so hard that he couldn't even take it. He said, wait, because he know you talking BS. The white T man, that's the whole reason these people are bugging out and trying to fight so hard, because their numbers are dwindling, and he's up here bootlicking, talking about, oh, they're gonna always be the majority in this country. No, they're not. Their numbers are dwindling right now, and they know that. That's why they're trying to go hard with all this mess. Like, what are you talking about? You sitting here trying to please them so much that you're willing to lie to them and yourself. This is disgusting, man. This is truly disgusting.
Kind of teetering on the
population. We even look at the just the history.
Kind of teetering on the population. Because we're kind of teetering on the population.
We even look at the just the history of white population, or just any population in any country, on any continent. If they have the power, the resources, and a strong backing and fervor behind them, they're going to maintain the majority. Now, you can bring up examples like the Native Americans. Well, there's a lot of Native Americans here, and they got conquered. Well, technologically, they were not advanced enough to defend their lands. They may have had the numbers, but they didn't really have the technology or the means to defend their lands properly. So I think right now you're not going to see people getting to the Native American level. You're not going to see that at all. I don't think we're going to get to that point in this country seeing that. But I am confident that whites are probably going to be still the majority in this country. But things have to get worse in order for things to get better. And I think that what black people, which is, of course, my prime focus, being black, we have to look at it. Either we can take advantage of what's going on in this country and work on fixing ourselves, or we can be a part of the problem and then be removed.
Listen to this idiot. Be a part of the problem and be removed. How in the hell are black Americans going to be removed from this country? Like, what are you talking about, dude? And number one, you didn't even answer the question that he asked. He said, how are we going to be the majority when our numbers are, basically he said our numbers are already dwindling. How are we still going to remain the majority? And you hear the answer he gave? He didn't even answer. He just started filibustering and talk about some complete BS that had nothing to do with the question that was asked. Because he's sitting here on his knees bootlicking so damn hard, he can't even answer the question that they asked him. Because what he said prior to that made absolutely no sense. Even they know the white T man is not on track to being the majority in this country anymore. Their numbers are dwindling like crazy. And you got this dude up here just on his knees for these white T supremacists so hard that even they had to question what the hell he was saying. That's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. This dude, and mind you, this is the same bootlick raccoon that was running around with Jake Lang. And Jake Lang is a known white T supremacist, talks a bunch of BS and crap about black Americans and black folks in general, but he was running around with him in Minnesota getting beat the hell up, spit on, stuff thrown at him, and he's over here trying to play defense for a known white T supremacist who talks hella shit about his own people. This is the type of person you're dealing with. Somebody who will run defense for a white T supremacist that hates black people. This is the type of person you are dealing with. Just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I had to get on here and just debunk him on these stupid talking points he was making, where even the white T supremacists had to double look at him like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is disgusting, bro. And this shows y'all, FBA, we call out our raccoons. We don't just sit there and focus on the tethers. We get on the tethers' asses, and like we said before, you're not a tether just because you're Caribbean or African. That's not what makes you a tether. It's the action you take against us. You know what I'm saying? But we told you before, we're not just on the tethers. We're on all of you mother effers that are messing up our talking points and bad representations for us. You know, we're on all of y'all. We're on these people that are he's FBA. He can be considered FBA, but he's a raccoon, so he doesn't represent FBA. He doesn't speak for us, and we're on his ass the same way we would be on anybody else's ass. Now y'all hit that like button, man, and hit the comments. Let me know what you think about this dude's responses to these white T supremacists who are asking him these questions. What do you think? Was this dude over here really on some raccoon shit, or am I over exaggerating? Hit the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button and subscribe. I'll be back with plenty more.